the squat. This is one of the most complex, controversial, and widely used exercises there is. There are so many different ways to do the squat, and it's going to depend on your goals and your anatomy. So there's not one blanket way to squat that I can tell you all to do perfectly. What I am going to do in this video is try to hit some main points that are important, no matter if you're doing a back squat, front squat, a dumbbell squat, a one-arm squat. There's so many variations, so this is just a couple of the big pointers that we need to be thinking about no matter what variation we are doing. Again, please send me a video of you squatting, whether it's just body weight or with a weight, whatever you guys are doing in your programs, because then we can look at you individually and figure out what you need to do to make your squat better, to help you stay injury-free and pain-free, and to make you reach your goals. So, just to start off, we're going to kind of start at the beginning. I'm going to focus on a couple different parts of the squat. Again, I could talk for hours about the squat. So if you want to know more, please ask, or I can give you some videos or people that I think are way more intelligent than I am in this field, especially the squat. So first we're going to talk about setup, okay? So this is especially important for a back squat or a front squat setup because that's where we're going to probably have the most weight on us, okay? Anytime we're putting anything on our spine, we need to be extra careful about how we set up. So the first thing I see people do incorrectly is just kind of stand under the bar, staggered stance, okay? They kind of are up here, my hands are moving, you know, and they just kind of step out and then think they're about to be ready to squat. Well, if you do that, you have already lost a ton of tension that could help you get the weight up, okay? So we want every part of our body to be under tension when we are squatting. We want it to be locked in. We don't want any moving parts because that is one more way that we could get injured doing this lift. So when we get underneath the bar, I want my feet to be in a good position, just like I would be about to squat. My hands are outside of my shoulders in a comfortable position. Some people it can be a little more out. This is where I'm most comfortable. But we're gonna lock that bar in. I'm gonna pull it down onto my spine, and I'm gonna start feeling the weight that I'm gonna be lifting, and I'm gonna help lock in my upper back. My lats are going to engage, and I'm gonna have myself that much more ready to squat. So I'm in a good position here. I've locked in up top. I lift the bar, and I want to take no more than 3 or 4 steps to get into my position. I see a lot of people step out of the bar, and they're all over the place trying to get their feet set. Well, when we do that, we're allowing tension to be released every single time we're moving around, and you're just standing there with a bunch of weight on your back. You're already making your body tired. So we lift off, about 3, maybe a 4 step to get to where you need to be. Okay, once you are in this neutral position, we want to corkscrew our feet into the ground. Okay, so our feet are going to be one of the most important parts. This is our floor anchor for this lift. So there are 3 parts of your foot that we need to focus on keeping in the floor. Okay, we're looking at our heel, the part just under the pinky toe, and just under our big toe, okay? We want to spread those toes out and really grip onto the floor. Okay, I see a lot of people, either their heels aren't playing a big role or their toes aren't playing a big role. All 3 of these parts have to be locked into the ground, and just like when we do a push or something, we're kind of corkscrewing in. We want to corkscrew in and kind of pull it because that helps tense up everything. It stacks our ankles in a good position, and now my feet, I have that bar locked in tight up here, my upper back all ready to go. Next we're going to talk about our core and bracing your core. I've made a separate video talking about belly breathing and bracing. Please go watch that now because all I'm going to say here is brace up, and pretty much that means just tighten up, but there's another video that goes way more in depth about that. So we're going to be, feet are locked in. I've had a good lift off the bar. I'm in a good set position. Now how wide do my feet go? This is going to be totally dependent on you. I know some people who like to have a very narrow stance and they have a lot of good ankle and hip mobility, so this works for them. I know other people that get way out wide, and this may be the best place for you. If you haven't squatted and you don't really know what your stance is, I would start just outside of shoulder width and kind of go from there. This is where I feel most comfortable squatting. So I think it's a good starting point if you're not sure what you need as an individual. So toes, do they go straight forward? Do they come out to the side? What is the best way for my toes to be pointed? If you can have your toes straight forward and you feel like you can get a really good squat out of this, go for it. If my toes forward, that usually means I have really good hip mobility, okay? So if I turn my toes slightly out, I'm gonna be activating a little more musculature, and I'm gonna make up for some of that hip mobility that I maybe don't have. So what I don't want is our toes to be way out to the side, okay? When we talk about flaring our toes, we don't want to go more than 10 to 12 degrees out. And I know that may sound like a very strange number, but think just very slightly out to the side, okay? We don't want to flare them out too much or we're going to get in a bad position. So slight toe flare out. I'm locking in my feet. I can feel right under my big toe, my pinky toe, and my heel are all locked into the ground, okay? I'm tight up top, my lats are activated. Even if I'm holding a goblet, I wanna activate those lats, okay? Pull them down and in. If I have the bar up here, pull them down and in, okay? Now I'm ready to go. I brace here, and then I'm ready to squat, okay? So with the squat, I'm gonna start with a slight hip hinge here, okay? What we don't want is for our back to extend and get into that big back extension where my butt is out but my spine extends, okay? That's a position we do not want to be in. We want to be in a neutral spine. I've braced my spine. Now I have a slight hip hinge, and then I'm going to drop straight down, straight back up. So my back stays flat this whole time. I have the bar nice and high or the weight in front, nice and good. Okay, I'm not falling over here. So I'm here, boom, hip hinge, straight down, straight back up. The biggest thing I see people do wrong, that you can see from the side especially, is we allow our weight to get too far forward. Okay, so when we do this, normally why this happens is because we start with our knees bending forward, and so then as I go down, I'm falling forward with the weight because all my weight starts shifting forward, okay? If you're holding a dumbbell goblet style, you're gonna really start to fall over. If you have a bar on your back, your whole back is gonna go down. We're gonna see our butt start to shoot up, and then we're in this really bad, like almost good morning position that we don't wanna be in when we're squatting. Okay, so I've all locked in here, hip hinge back, straight down, okay? If you have the bar on your back, we want that bar to stay nice and straight right over our foot, okay? Right over that midfoot. We want our center of mass to be the same as we go up and down. We don't want to fall forward on it, but we also don't want to fall backwards when we're falling back, okay? So make sure we think about all 3 points of contact on our feet, okay? So hips first, then straight, not knees first, okay? Big thing that you can see from the side. As far as from the front, the biggest thing I see are knees crashing, okay? Sometimes it's just one foot crashes, one knee crashes, other times it's both knees crashing. So as we go down, if you lock in your feet well, we want to drive those knees out over our foot so that they're not crashing in. So if I crash in, this is kind of what it looks like, okay? We're putting a lot of bad pressure on our knees there. We're getting them in that valgus position, which is not a very good position for us to be, okay? So I want to make sure I'm driving out. They're right over my feet, and then I'm back up, okay? We want to think about chest staying up. We don't want to be down like this, okay? So that's just some of the really big things I see go wrong. Again, please send me videos of you squatting. We can talk about you as an individual, what we need to adjust for you, what problems we see you have, and then what weaknesses we can help fix so that your squat